Okay, so the last part of chapter 1 is creating a balance sheet for the account balances um, that we've had so far. So far, well, we'll get to that in just a minute. It says, and I'm looking at the top of page 13 under balance sheets. This is chapter 1-3 on page 13. It says, periodically, a business reports details about its assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. It says periodically, and that might be every week, every month, who knows, maybe every day. If it's a small business, I want to know how much money is coming in and how much money that I owe on a daily basis. The whole idea of owning a business is to make money. Whether that be you own a business or maybe you're the accountant or the payroll person for a certain business. It says the financial details about assets, liabilities, and owner's equity could be found in the last line of the accounting equation. We've talked about assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, etc. If we did a final balance of all those accounts that we've looked at so far, they should equal out, left side and right side. However, we want a more detailed, more professional looking form to show our owners, or if I am the owner, for me to look at and to say, okay, how many liabilities do I have, or how much in liabilities do I have, how much in capital do I have in owner's equity, and how much cash, supplies, insurance I do have. So we want a sheet that's going to show that a little bit more effectively. So go ahead and turn to the next page. And this shows, again, I know this is difficult to read. You could zoom in, maybe. I'm not sure how you would do that on YouTube, but you could zoom in. But we're looking at page 14 right now at the top. You notice at the very, very top, kind of what we put together, the accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, the accounts underneath each category. So we've only dealt with the cash account, the supplies account, the insurance account, or prepaid insurance account. Those are all assets. That's the account classification. Liabilities are the companies that we know, or that we owe money to. So it's going to say accounts payable, Ling Music, or Johnson Supplies, or whatever. Finally, our owner's equity is going to be my name, or Barb Trevino, and the capital, and that's the account name. But the owner's equity is the classification of that type of account. We're going to have other different accounts under each classification. We're going to have multiple asset accounts. We're going to have multiple liability accounts. We're going to have multiple owner's equity accounts. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the chapter and the rest of the semester. And we're going to put together, this is the first actual official business form. It's called a balance sheet. At the bottom, it goes through every single instruction, steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It shows them right up here. I'm not going to go through this in detail too much, but if you want to refer back to how to fill out a balance sheet, look at page 14. Steps 1 through 8 tells you each step, tells you the terminology and what to do, but I'm going to run through it with you. So again, up at the top we have our accounting equation, assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Here are our accounts and their balance of each account. So right now we have this amount of cash. We have this amount in supplies. We have this amount in insurance. Well, we owe this amount, and our business is worth this amount. These two amounts equal these three. The left side has to equal the right side. I've said it probably about 50 times now in the last 3 lessons. Assets, all of the assets accounts have to equal all of your liability and owner's equity accounts at all times, no matter what, throughout the entire semester. So this is what a balance sheet looks like. We're going to do ours in Excel. So the first step is to write the business name, the name of the form, because there's going to be other forms that we fill out that actually look like this. But we want everyone to know that this is the balance sheet. And again, balance means that this balances to this balances. Assets balance to liabilities and owner's equity. So we're looking at the balance sheet. And this is how much we have and how much we're worth as a business. We're going to put the date of when we run the report. Second step was we're going to put the category names at the top. Assets. It's always going to be centered, and we're going to bold it, and we're going to make it kind of stand out from the names of our actual accounts. These are our accounts, our asset accounts, and their balances. Then we're going to single rule this, which means put a dark line underneath those amounts, which means to add in accounting and in Excel. And then we're going to double line the total, which means that we're finished. That's the total. Anytime you see double lines, that means total, and that's included in when I grade your assignments. Make sure that you have the single rule and the double rule line, and I'm going to show you how to do that and have the correct accounts listed and have this centered. Same with liabilities, same with owner's equity, because again, this side has to equal this side, and you can see that here. So these are the steps of doing that. You can push pause, kind of look this over real quick, but we're gonna get right into it. The terms to review. There's just one, and it's what a balance sheet is. Then you have your audit, your understanding, your work together, you're on your own, which again can be found under 1-3 lesson. I scroll to the top here. Balance sheet, again, make sure this is in red. Make sure you write out or type out the terms. Same with audit, your understanding, and again, make sure they're in complete sentences. I will mark you down if they are not in complete sentences or misspellings, things like that. So we get to the work together, and I've put together, again, this is what a balance sheet looks like, and it might be a paper form, it might be in Excel, it might be in some other type of spreadsheet program that your company uses, but it's going to look something like this, where you have the assets on the left and liabilities and owner's equity on the right, and we're going to write this information in. So I've kind of condensed it down a little bit. So if we're looking at page 15, work together, it says, hold on, yep. All right, it says our cash account is at $2,400, our supplies account is at $300, and our prepaid insurance is at $600. It also says that our accounts payable to Hewlett Company is $250, and Jim Hess Capital is at $3,050. Now again, I'm looking at the work together on page 15. So the first thing we're going to put up here is the name of the company, which is Hess Company. Again, I've already formatted this for you so that it should look perfect. We're going to put balance sheet, and we're going to put the date ending, which is October 31st. We're always going to use the current year for our assignments. So next thing we're going to put is the word assets. And again, I told you that I want this bold. We're going to raise the font a little bit here. We're going to bold it, and we're going to center it. That way we know what our assets are. We're going to line everything to the left. So cash is an asset. Supplies is an asset. And prepaid insurance is an asset. Our cash is $2,400. And again, I've already formatted this for you. $300 for cash and $600 for insurance. Now, you notice that the cents after the decimal points are here. We're going to select these three cells, and we're going to come up here to this area here, and we're going to decrease the decimal by 2. Okay. We're going to have total assets. Again, a line to the left. And we're going to put a formula in here to add these three numbers. So we're going to come up here to auto sum. It selects those three cells automatically. I hit enter, and that's what I should have, $3,300. Now we're going to come back to the single rule and the double rule lines here in just a minute. We're going to come up to liabilities. Again, I want it to look like this, so let's go ahead and select this cell. I'm going to come up to this Format Painter button. I'm going to click it once. I'm going to select that cell, and then it'll format it exactly how I want it. Our liabilities are, I'm going to put A/P, accounts payable, Hewlett Company. And this is how you can abbreviate it. We owe them $250 currently. Hit enter. And then we have owner's equity. That's our only liability account right now. And we're going to put Jim Hess Capital. That's the name of his equity account. However, again, we want this title to look like this. So again, select this, Format Painter, come down to Owner's Equity, and it looks like that. The amount that we owe them, or actually our capital currently is $3,050. Again, you notice the decimal sign, so let's just select this whole row and we'll come up here to decrease decimal to that. We're going to have our total liabilities and OE. And I don't mind if you abbreviate total liabilities and owner's equity. That's what it should mean. And again, we're going to put a formula in here. We're going to auto sum this. Notice that it doesn't select this number because there's nothing in the cell. So we need to come back up and select all of these cells. Hit enter. And you notice that, let's decrease that decimal, that each side is equal. So our assets equal our liabilities and owner's equity. Now to get the single rule and the double line, I come up here, if I select the total of assets, and I come up here to the border line under the Home tab, you actually have it under top and double bottom border. So if you just click that, that'll take care of everything. And actually, this is fine. You notice that this isn't darker. That's okay. So come over here and do the same thing to this. And it's already selected. So you notice that this is now double ruled. So that we know that this is the total. Something else I'd like for you to do from here on out is anytime you have totals, let's make it apparent that these are the totals. So put a different color to them. So that way we can obviously see that these two match. Assets equals liabilities and owner's equity. This is the balance sheet, the official form to do that on. Again, I'm on the work together. And let's just make it obvious. Highlight it in yellow or bold it. You know, something different to make it stand out so that whoever we're showing this official form or document to, that they see what our assets are and how much we owe in liabilities and how much our company is actually worth. So that's the balance sheet. And you might want to even format this a little bit too. Maybe make it a little bit bigger and bold this as well. Something like that to make it look a little bit more professional, things like that. So the on your own, which is at the bottom of page 15, I want you to do the exact same thing that you did up here. You're going to start with this. You can even copy and paste all of this information as long as it looks like you only do have one liabilities account. So if you just select this, copy, come down here and paste it. Now you just replace the name, which is Goldstein. Balance sheet, and you can put the date in, you can change the assets, the numbers, liabilities, and the formulas actually will stay the same. So just a hint, something that will definitely save you time here. But that's the end of chapter 1-3. Again, these will get faster as we go along, but just learning the basics and trying to get you to learn how I want to run things. Make sure that we have this information done, and the next video will be on the application problems and how to complete those.